I'm sorry, were you talking to me? You just. Oh. I'm okay. Haters make me sick. Hold on, let me just post the selfies real quick. OMG, LOL, RAR, XD, X3. I love Gur. He's like my spirit animal. Less than 3, less than symbol 3. How's it going? OMG. What's the mother? Oh, your parents are lesbians. Brutal. TikTok? OMG, that's my favorite Kesha song. Hashtag get crunk. Hashtag so brutal. Hashtag scene queen. Bobby isn't in jail yet, so that justifies me listening to Blow on the Dance Floor because clearly he did nothing wrong. MG, lol, zors, wafflecopter, rar, XD. I'm so cool. What's your space pay? About your MySpace, Windows 98. Our social media presence is unparalleled. Guys, I got arm warmers and this necklace that says RAR XD. Hot Topic is totally back, guys. I'm so hot. Hyper pop. Ugh. I only listen to pop music if it's from Punk Goes Pop. Other than that, it's too mainstream for me. Broken Side will never die. My God, did you guys hear 303 is back? I don't know what's up with the 200 yaks or whatever, but they're back, guys. Why is my hair fucking flat? Ah. You all wish you were me.
On my door the other day, I opened it to find out staring in my face. The feel of mortal stock and still reverberate. Everywhere I go, I drag this stuff into the hate. Welcome to the zanzeezeepodcast with Rad Dad 2023, Sad Dad, The Beard, Swipe Right Mike, and we don't even have a name for her.
Don't do
it. No, we don't.
Oh.
Mama Brandy?
Mad bitch Brandy?
No, God, no.
I mean, we have
a scene queen here.
My wife.
We have Mama K. What about Mama B?
That's true.
We joked about just calling her my wife.
I mean, you can do that. We can do that.
My wife.
Oh,
guys, it's early 2000s. We're setting up our MySpace pages.
Oh, God.
We're borrowing our mom's flat iron.
I'm having real bad flashbacks.
Our balls circulation is cut off by these tight jeans.
We're figuring out who's going to be in our top 8.
Yeah. And it's not Tom, Tommy. Good Lord. Welcome. Thank you for being on the show, Brandy, today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So you're the scene queen back in the day. Now, let's just get into it a little bit here. Because this was something I didn't understand. As a 41-year-old man in the year our Lord 2023 today, brothers and sisters of Christ, I don't know much about this era because I was having babies. As a baby, having babies. I didn't really pay attention to music and culture at the time. I was just out of the service. 2007, I tried to adapt to the way of the world at the time. And on top of getting back home and then the Virginia Tech shooting, I think was 2007, the world seemed like a pretty bleak place. But there was a fashion trend going on, and I knew it specifically because of Brother Bear, previous guest of the show, because all of a sudden his hair wasn't so curly anymore. It was very straight. And his jeans were very tight.
Had to wear his sister's jeans, probably.
Yeah.
Girl jeans was a thing.
Yeah, that's how I actually got my skinny jeans. I used to go to the women's department
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, no, I'm shopping for my girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. Are you kidding me? It would be 10 more years till I got a girlfriend.
Well, so Tej, where were you in the early 2000s?
I mean, we were super focused on Still Remains at that time. So, I mean, we were touring. I mean, we were more in the like metal world rather than the like super emo world. We probably looked like we were a part of the emo world
A little
a
bit.
bit.
We've
but
all seen
then,
that first music video.
and you know, we toured with some of those bands as well. I mean, we did a tour with Hawthorne Heights, and we did a tour with Drop Dead Gorgeous and Aiden, and
Hey there.
I could never stomach it. Like the genre to me is like the egg fart genre. Like when it comes on, I'm just like, God dang.
Well,
I
it
just
feels
can't.
like the unmarried, questionable morals uncle of nu metal or aunt or whatever, like a distant relative to that kind of. But I also see a lot of what appears to be hair metal.
Yeah, it's like they took Motley Crue and they just like
Hit it with a
sassed
brick,
it up or
Dyed
something.
it with pink and purple and
Yeah.
And we're not a review show, so if you like this music, that's fine. And
Yeah, totally
Brandy,
fine.
obviously, we love you. So if
Absolutely.
you love this, we love you. It's fine.
I was in high school. I graduated in 05. So definitely that was kind of the peak then. And then I went in, when I graduated high school, I worked in the bar industry. So constantly around a lot of that
Yeah.
scene and everything.
Was it one of those things where like it just came out of the blue, or was it like you just started to see what was it the music or the aesthetic first? Do you
It
think?
was for me, it was the music.
yeah.
Okay.
So I grew up in a household where my dad introduced me to a lot of rock at a very, very early age. My dad is the
Good rock.
epitome of like 80s hair metal dude. Like as far as like his looks back then, he was the epitome of like band dude, long hair, played guitar, you know, did lighting and sound for stuff. And you know, we really bonded over music growing up. He was who introduced me to, you know, Led Zeppelin, who was one of my favorite bands, Nirvana, you know, all the way up to like Live. That was a band that me and my dad really shared together. So already kind of listening to a lot of rock music and stuff when I was starting high school. The rock music that was really starting to become popular, or a lot of the people that I started hanging out with were listening to, were bands like
Like Blink maybe.
From Autumn to
Autumn to
Ashes,
Ashes.
and you know, a lot of that like post-hardcore, Glassjaw. I got really into Blink 182.
That's totally cool.
That album, and I would say that was the first album that I learned to play on guitar. So
Ooh.
it was, yeah, pop punk. That was held a special place in the heart.
Nice.
But yeah, just listening to a lot of those, like you get into a lot of those like emo bands, stuff like that. So it was the music, and then you started going out to the shows, and you started seeing how some of the other girls were dressing, and then all of a
fashion
sudden
show.
you're wearing 2 studded belts over your tank tops, and your hair that used to be 1 length and long is now your shortest layer is 4 inches, and there's zebra print dyed into the side of it, and you're saying things like "rar" and taking.
And you're not a dinosaur?
No.
We are now though.
It was like a joke that you weren't a scene kid if you didn't like have a digital camera and go down to the local park and take really weird emo pictures of you like swinging on a swing, or like grabbing your pigtails bent over in front of like a fence or something. It was.
Hell yeah. Go on.
Mike was liking those pictures on MySpace.
I still like those pictures on my
For a while, I still had my MySpace.
I did too. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I liked MySpace, and I still
Yeah, I miss it. It's cool.
like it more than what Facebook is now.
Well,
Yeah.
you could add your music on there at like later on in MySpace.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Shoot, you can learn basic coding and stuff on MySpace, trying to like
Web-
personalize
web
your
design. Well,
personalizing your page.
And I think that realistically, what this music, this genre, this aesthetic of the kids of the time really is it's like the internet's first music genre birthed. Essentially, I mean, because MySpace plays fundamentally such an important role in the spread, because you get bands like Owl City who didn't get signed until they had like literally millions of plays on MySpace.
Yeah.
My band at the time, we were post rock, got huge because of our MySpace page, and we didn't tour for shit. Meanwhile, TJ's out there doing the grunt work, and I'm just like, listen to this sad song I wrote with no vocals. I hope one day I can meet a singer. but it's true. I mean, those things, you could get MySpace famous. There was
I had a friend.
Yeah.
You know her too, Heather.
Oh yeah, she was kind of MySpace famous.
She was.
Yeah.
So scene kids.
X Forbidden X.
H there was actually.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Do you remember Forbidden though? She was her and like what was her name? Tina Tequila, whatever.
Oh,
her name is.
Tequila.
Tequila. Like they were like the couple of the like real big MySpace like women.
It's funny, you can still Google H there
Oh yeah, there's Heather.
and all of the
Is that your
like.
MySpace?
Look her friend.
Oh, okay.
She was MySpace famous.
She's the one that did our like Halloween like pictures and stuff.
Yeah, she's our engagement pictures.
Oh, those
and the
pictures are
family
awesome.
pictures. Yeah, she's still
Actually,
a good friend.
I want to throw this out there, and forgive me if I'm throwing this out on the podcast, but if you guys have any era specific pictures, send them to me and I'll throw them on our Instagram, which you should like and follow.
I will.
They have a couple.
Come on, Mike. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike,
They
you were,
lost in the abyss of the internet.
I know.
what was your angle though, Mike? Because we've talked with our scene queen of the time, but I want to talk about from the male perspective. What was it like growing up during that era? You said you worked at Magical Place.
Yeah, Captain. No. I used to work at Hot Topic. I was working at Hot Topic and Pine Rest at the time. So.
Oh wow.
Hey,
Interesting.
you're twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm twisted too. That's why I work here. I'm not a resident, but I could be. So yeah, I was working on Hot Topic. I was definitely a huge scene kid, huge into like tooth and nail. Like that was like my scene.
Yeah.
Like following like local bands, Still Remains, Skies Revolt, a lot of speed, what have you. Skinny jeans. I was talking to TJ in the kitchen today. Like I lip ring, piercings, black hair, and having it all like drooped down, straightened, and
Oh yeah.
Should we do the snake bite?
I did not. I had
did
a friend
that.
that did. That's
that.
awesome. I used to tease my hair. Like Robert Smith, he was my from The Cure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was my idol.
Oh,
like, looking like someone.
He should
Still
be
my idol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even though my daughter, when we went and saw The Cure, she said, he looks like the Penguin.
Poor Robert Smith.
And he does. He
Yeah,
does.
a
He
little
kind of
bit.
does. I mean.
But that's cool to me because Danny
He's like
DeVito's
60,
cool.
so
Yeah.
cut the guy a break.
Hey,
He's the old penguin.
old Penguin.
My at a Hot Topic, they asked me in my interview question, what band are you listening to right now? And it wasn't Scene at all. It was Dragon Force. And they're like, you got the job, and I'm like, yay! I can't wait to sell any size T-shirts to boys and girls.
All right, so I'm going to get into a little bit of the background here. So what does it mean to be a scene kid? Someone who took place in the culture or who imitated the style. So you didn't necessarily have to be into the music. You could just be like, I want to look like she does on her MySpace page. Whew. Early usages of scene kid predate the scene subculture and appeared in reference to music genres, raves, and other activities around the late 1990s. Did anybody go to a rave?
They always seem
not
so
in the
cool.
90s.
Sorta, not. I mean, not
That
like
was a
not like a drug rave.
Was it like a?
I did that.
I want to hear about that.
I mean, after watching Blade, I wanted to go to one, but
Oh my! I remember that scene.
that's the most iconic scene.
The opening.
Yeah. And it's like every time you see a movie with like something that like that in it, my wife and I are like, where do you go for that? Like you don't hear about like, oh yeah, you go to this place, so they have awesome raves.
Glow sticks and whippets.
Yeah.
and Batman.
Yeah.
Beating people up.
those definitely still happen in Detroit.
Oh,
So
Well, I did, and it was interesting. I bought some aspirin, we'll say, quote unquote, from a guy in a parking lot, and then went inside, and one of my friends was tripping balls in a car, and I had to calm him down. I was like, Jason, follow my hand. Are you all right? He's like, he was like looking out the window, like
he's
trying
freaking
to.
out like a possum.
He was literally a possum scared on his back.
And meanwhile, Ryan just rubbing his face.
I know. I'm like, hey, you gotta go in. There's a girl with an alarm clock around her chest, and she's blowing vapor rub in your face.
Slave to slave.
And you just sit there going,
Exactly. So yes, in this context, a scene is a kind of community. It's the setting of a milieu of a specific activity or group. The hardcore scene would refer to a group of people who enjoy the hardcore genre of music and who might discuss it with one another. A scene might also include the physical venues for such activities. Scene kid likely became associated with the scene subculture in the mid-2000s when the subculture began to flourish in the US. The subculture was mainly popular among teenagers, which is probably why scene kid stuck. As a descriptor for scene enthusiasts, it's possible that the band Hollywood Undead, who were enjoying success on MySpace at the time, may have helped make the term more popular. I thought Hollywood Undead was the Johnny Depp band.
No, that's
Hollywood Vampires.
Yes.
yeah.
Hollywood Undead is that band that took the Crazy Train riff, and it's on keyboard, and it just they do again, and it's like they incorporate like
I have to apologize because me and Josh and probably TJ are going to sound like old man yelling at cloud with this genre.
Well, actually, there was one band I know a lot of scene kids got into, but they weren't like hardcore, and that was the Dresden Dolls.
Yes, but that's, to me, that felt like theater kid core.
Yeah,
It's very like all about like Amanda Palmer's kind of
super feminist,
but also her theatrical sense when it came to the face paint and all that. What
I was just gonna say, it's just so funny hearing you guys like drop, like say all these band names, and I'm just like, oh, I got a story. Oh, I got a story. I got a story. I got a story.
Dresden Dolls.
Dresden Dolls. All right. Download Festival, London, 2005. We were there playing, and the Dresden Dolls were on the same label as us, Roadrunner Records, and I didn't know too much about them. I mean, like I had heard them and knew that they were like a two-piece, and turns out that their drummer, I can't remember his name.
Brian Biglione.
Okay. I had a conversation with Brian for quite a while that like I sat there and talked for a half hour. Didn't barely know each other, but we just ended up kind of hitting it off, and just is a good memory. And I remember he told me that he was cousins with this kid that played the drums in the Agony scene, who we had just toured with, and we became really good friends with them. So there was kind of a connection, like, oh,
that's cool.
Yeah,
and
like,
he was a really nice guy.
he was super nice. Yeah,
super nice guy.
I didn't meet her though.
I met both of them in
Oh,
2000. It was about 2005, 2006, and it was funny because like I was talked to her, and it was about like musicals and like we talked about like Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Rocky Horror Picture Show, that type of stuff, and it was like, okay, like your theater, like you said. Mm-hmm. Then I go over to Brian, and like we started talking about like old punk bands.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was a very nice guy.
Super nice.
Okay, so one of their early songs, The Kids, this is Hollywood Undead, references the subculture. The song's lyrics talk about how the singer was accused of being a scene kid. The singer also makes reference to scene kids at the beginning of the song, along with other references relevant to that time period. As a subculture, scene was oriented around music and fashion. It existed concurrently with the emo subculture, which is what I would recognize, which often prompted comparisons of the two, especially since there was an overlap of bands and sometimes fashion styles between the two groups. Some bands that were prominent in scene culture were Breeze Carolina, Blood on the Dance Floor, Broken Side, Cobra Starship, 303, My Chemical Romance, and Panic at the Disco. Scene's music taste was eclectic, ranging from traditionally emo bands to bands that tended more towards pop. Scene's fashion was all about bright colors, big layered hair, flashy eyeliner, neon-colored clothing, and lots of jelly bracelets. The internet was also important, as MySpace was big with scene kids. Altogether, if the style and culture had to be described in one phrase, it'd be in your face.
A lot of finger guns pointed at your head too.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, there was also during this time, and there was a Netflix documentary about it. Is it called Is Anybody Up?
Yeah. IsAnybodyUp.com.
Yeah.
And that was Hunter Moore. Yeah. It was a site where basically people would go on and say, hey, I'm looking for Win, aka nudes of this person, and you'd have ex-boyfriends, jealous girls. It was a revenge porn site where guys would post, like, they'd break up with a girl, they'd post all of her nudes that they had. It was pretty intense.
You know what? And
Michigan was hit pretty bad in that, because obviously they'd split the forums up by areas, and I had a lot of friends that unfortunately during that time
that's not very raw. That's not very dinosaur.
That's very raw.
That's very win raw. No, but wait, no, that's not winning.
Damn it, losing.
But yeah, it was an online pornographic website based on stolen and hacked photos that ceased operation in 2012, which I feel like is about the time teen kids go, well, it's time to not be a teen kid anymore. About 2012-ish.
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah.
Because between that and MySpace shutting down, it's kind of like, well, there goes our backdrop, folks.
Has it really shut down? Is MySpace like no more now?
No, it's still it runs. It's just different. I mean, they've like reworked it.
Yeah.
But it'll never be the same.
No, it's just kind of hanging out there. I don't know if anybody uses it. So.
I feel like MySpace is.
We're such boomers because we're like, yeah, it was better when it was back in 2002.
Did you guys ever have
it had about 100 million people on it. Unfortunately, everybody and their grandma is now on Facebook, and no one is going to get off of it.
You know what's great about MySpace though is you truly only saw what you wanted to see from like your friends and stuff, like by going to them versus going on and seeing your drunk uncle's racist rants.
Yeah,
it's so true.
Well, not only that, but like it wasn't racist rants. It wasn't any of that. It was literally just like, hey, such and such posted a new song. Check this out. Share this thing. It was more about community, and it was a perfect platform for people who were in bands.
Yeah,
I actually found out about like at least, and I'm not. This estimate isn't even me overestimating. It's like probably at least 50 solid bands during that time.
Easily.
Like, this amazing band I loved at the time and still love called Color Revolt, and another band called Deer in the Headlights, all came from that era, and it was very emo-y, but like you still had all the main bands that we loved that were continuing to do stuff, like Nine Inch Nails, Radiohead. Nine Inch Nails puts out With Teeth in the early 2000s. Radiohead has In Rainbows. So like all of our music was fine.
I think that's how I found Dragon Force.
Was MySpace?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's how I found the sound of animals fighting.
Yeah.
I believe that was how oh boy, the band that we were talking about earlier with wow, that's a blank. Never mind.
we were talking about a band that you found out about on
I
MySpace.
played with the Dresden Dolls. Why am I blanking on them now?
Oh,
With Brandy Marie.
Oh, Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Thank you. They got big because of MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
So
The guy's a dick. That's all I'm gonna say.
he's a total asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Gotta be.
You
the
guys,
term.
do you guys remember Zanga?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank
You remember
Thank
Live
you.
Journal?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Live Journal,
Oh, live journal.
I had a Zanga. Never had live journal.
That was
Photo
before
bucket?
MySpace.
Tumblr.
FaceTheJury.com, hotornot.com.
Hot or not?
Suicidegirls.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was.
girl.
To go there at home.
That's still a thing, though, I
Bamboo
think, isn't it?
Jessica. I still remember one of the girls.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, look, ladies and gentlemen, we still had comedies coming out in theaters at the time. I'm nostalgic, but also kind of like at arm's length to it in a way, because it's like we went through that era of the internet. We were bound to, like, the culture as a whole was bound to make some stupid mistakes, and obviously we touched on isanyoneup.com and all that. There was some huge drama. See the Netflix documentary. That guy's a piece of shit. But like, I think music at the time, it was nice because we had the internet to experience all these different genres. And sometimes when you make, say, soup or you make chili, you like to throw in some, I don't know, risque ingredients.
Beer.
Who knows? Beer chili probably tastes delicious, but sometimes you throw in too many ingredients, and some of this music sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
Too much salt and too much pepper can spoil anything. So
Yeah.
Too much auto-tune or too
Yeah.
much trap beats
True.
or too
Yeah.
much.
Too many cooks.
Certain
Too
things
many
just don't work together.
So the term scene kid was used by members and outsiders of the scene subculture alike. When the word was used by non-scene kids, it was often accompanied with mockery.
Yeah.
You can't rar, I rar.
See, I think that's kind of like, I mean, I was talking to Mike about this earlier today.
Yeah.
About, people would call you a hipster or they would call you a scene kid. And I always thought that both were the same.
Well, in our era,
we
it was
learned.
poser. Like if you pretended to like, say, like grunge when you were in middle school, it's like, you don't like that, you're a poser.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Like
it
I had a
becomes
kid tell
derogatory.
me, I was in a 9 Inch Nails shirt. I remember this distinctly. This bratty girl, I was walking through the computer area at Plainwell Middle School, and she goes, "Ryan Herrick, you're a poser." I was like, what? Like, because I was wearing a 9 Inch Nails shirt, and she didn't think I knew the band.
I tried to
And now
explain
she's dead.
Damn.
Oh, nice. Wow, you took it
Oh,
there.
whoa, that got real dark.
I dropped
Wow.
an anvil on that bitch.
Tried to explain it to him earlier, hipster versus a scene kid, to kind of describe it a little bit. The hipsters were the ones hanging out at the coffee shop and like it had that kind of
They were
vibe,
less
and very
goth,
like
less black and less
Less.
like neon colors.
yeah.
If you want a good like visual, look at me. I look like a hipster.
Yeah. Okay.
Hipsters like Weezer.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were. They were
okay,
modest
fine.
mouth
Okay,
yeah.
and that type
Not
of
a
like,
surf.
Fire.
whereas like
Arcade Fire, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that type of
It all
thing.
makes sense. So like,
Where it,
Yeah,
yes,
Steven,
Arctic,
yeah.
those type of bands were then like scene, like the real true scene kid was the Broken Side and Blood on
Right.
the Dance Floor and stuff like that. Whereas I listened to some of those bands like 303, Panic at the Disco, that kind of stuff, but I was more of like the emo scene. I had the like teased up multi-layered hair, and
We're gonna have
we
to
did
have
the
pictures of
RAR,
this.
and we did the studded
She's
belt
sick.
Yeah.
and all of that kind of stuff. But I was more like in high school, I was listening to Glassjaw and Taking Back Sunday and Brand New and From Autumn to Ashes.
Thursday.
Every
and
Time I Die.
Thursday and Every Time I Die and those type of bands, Chiodo, Silverstein, like a lot of the like screamo metalcore.
I love you so much.
Well, you married the right man, that's for sure.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I'm not into a lot of that.
I know a lot of him, or knowing him with a lot of my music. 'Cause
You know what?
No, it's fine. I mean, like when Casey's listening to her crying her grandma's underwear type sad folky indie shit, I'm like, cool.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with Brandy. I mean, like, I'll give her some shit sometimes, but like if she wants to put that on, just
But
listen to it.
I've also introduced you to a couple like City and Color,
Yeah, City and Color's great.
stuff like that.
You know
but-
what? I would rather that than what my wife listens to. The other day we're driving along as a family and she puts on like Jake Owens where he's like, Breaker 19, just a big old dirt.
Oh, nope.
Breaker 19, just a bigger dirt.
Just a big old dirt.
Just a big old turd. Breaker 19 is a big old turd.
Now I just sit in a room by myself, the lights off, listening to Sigur Rós and black metal.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, you know, I think you find what you like out of all of it. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that really latches on, stays forever. I like some of that stuff too. Like when we had our first episode ever was me and my brother talking about new metal specifically.
Good episode.
And talking about that stuff was really interesting for me because I had went into it thinking I'm just gonna shit all over this the whole time. But like spending the time and listening to it, yeah, I listened to a bunch of Scene Kid playlists on Spotify today. In fact, I'll link one of them in the description. It's not terrible. There's stuff in there that I'm like, wait, I love this
Some
band.
of it's not great.
So there's
Broken
stuff
Sign.
there's stuff that's
It's a killer.
Oh, I love the
like-
Killers.
It
is
was,
awesome.
it was
Killers
Metro
great.
Station before that, which
That's a hipster
actually
band.
yeah, see,
was it Metro Station? That was Miley Cyrus's brother's thing, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Tommy Cyrus had a band. I'm just assuming his name's Tommy. Tommy, get over here. This sister's got her song.
So it was kind of confusing to me, like, because I feel like every musical era
Yep.
has its scene kids or hipsters, like but I can't tell the difference between them both. So I mean, if you think about like 80s, like
Hair metal.
in the 80s, well, I mean, I guess it could have been hair metal, it could have been stuff like Flock of Seagulls,
New wave.
new wave stuff, or it could have been punk. You know what I
Right.
mean? But they're all scene kids.
Right.
To their
So,
scene, their
Yeah.
respective scenes, right?
Yeah.
Or in the 60s and 70s, you got all like the Flower Kids,
Totally.
or whatever. So I didn't know if we were gonna like dive into the history of all of that, or if we were just gonna kind
well,
of.
I figured I'd do a kind of like we could talk off the cuff initially. I can get into the aesthetics. I mean, I don't have a history like verbatim like as
Yeah,
it
yeah,
writes because it's really like you said mid 2000s.
Mhm.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
2012
Really-
is when it
When
really
somebody
dies
says
out.
scene kids,
Yeah,
they
scene
think
kids, that's what they think.
they
that
think
era, right?
mid 2000s.
Okay, gotcha.
But scene is a movement, as I've kind of said. It was a subculture, kind of the genre of that era. Early 2000s, out of the hardcore scene, it became popular in the mid 2000s. Members of the original scene subculture were nicknamed scene kids, scenesters, or trendies.
I do want to say real quick, this song, Mr. Brightside, I sang this at karaoke and I bombed hard.
Bummer.
I cannot reach those high notes at all.
Oh,
Save my
dude.
life. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
No, I love it.
I don't know how many times I've done that.
Bombed a karaoke?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Our first date.
What?
What was
Did it suck that bad?
Damn.
I was sick.
Made an impression
You
though.
were sick.
I remember one time I tried to sing the Counting Crows,
Aw.
or maybe I tried to sing a Soundgarden song, and like at the end, I think it was Fell on Black Days, maybe, or like Black Hole Sun, and I just could not hit those like high notes, and I just made an ass out of myself. That was really cool.
They got a wife out of it.
Temple Pilots you
Yeah.
were singing. It wasn't horrible,
Yeah.
but you could tell that you were sick.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
We should do karaoke.
Right
Yeah, that
now,
would be fun.
we all have Mike.
Yeah.
That's true.
Not okay.
Sing kids.
We paint our fingernails, and we can all be singing scene kids.
Singing scene kids. Oh, maybe one day we'll just scrap doing the podcast and just do karaoke.
An acapella scene group.
The scene
Burpee-okie.
often confused with or used interchangeably with emo. I remember hearing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times they say about every 20 years we go back as far as generational concerns when it comes to like music and styles. And I saw a lot of videos online that were like, we think the roaring 20s are gonna come in hard with the scene kids because like
it's already you're seeing a lot of the style from the like
I mean
early like late 90s, early 2000s starting to come back. Like I'm walking into Target going, I wore that shit in high school. What is that doing out again? Like,
what's that?
It's awakening something inside of you.
Yeah.
TJ.
TJ,
how do you like my hair?
TJ suddenly got cloud hair from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
What? Got like black mascara running.
Super thing.
But like, yeah, the you know, dust off your sister's jeans, fellas. I mean, these things do come around. And emo, I think in the early 2000s would have been about 20-ish years because that's mid 80s, late 80s, especially like some of like the earliest stuff. So yeah, even in the 2000s or the 2010s, I remember specifically seeing genres pop up again. Or what we mentioned before, how suddenly kids are like, well, nu metal's great now. I see that too.
Yeah.
I get made fun of at work for my love affair with Limp Bizkit. So the kids don't think
Josh is the
cool
most
yet.
unabashed Limp Bizkit lover.
There's nothing wrong with Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
He
I
does
know
it all for
there's
the
nothing
nookies.
wrong with Limp Bizkit.
They are fine musicians, and Fred is just a goofy fella.
They are fantastic live.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. Like, you actually listen to them playing their instruments. Like, they're solid. The bass playing especially is so good.
Wes Borland is a hell of a guitar player.
Hell yes, he is.
Really is. I mean, when he's not doing Limp Bizkit stuff, like a lot of like power chords and riffs, like he can shred. He plays some really interesting shit. Like,
his other band, was it called like Deadhead or
Blacklight Burn?
Yes, you're right.
He in that?
Yeah, I checked them out. Blacklight Burns is Wes Borland's other band.
Okay. Well, he has another one too.
I'm sure he does.
But yeah, like he's a damn good guitar player,
and
the drummer is always in the pocket. Perfect.
I wish Fred would have never stopped screaming though.
Yeah, that's one.
$3 Bill Y'all was
that was it for me.
Perfection.
Love that first record. It was fucking awesome. Still is amazing.
Yeah, not bad at all. And also
I don't know. He does a lot of good screaming on that Eat You Alive song.
Yeah.
Really good.
Fun fact: I went to high school with the guy that sings in the song in the background.
Oh yeah.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Whoa.
I feel like I need some yo-yos or something. I don't know why, but I'm picturing yo-yo tricks.
It looked like you were juggling.
Juggling yo-yos.
There you go.
That's cool though. My brother could have very easily been a bass player for a band like this, but I was like, no, you're playing bass in a big boy band.
I used to be in a little emo band, and it was like Spawn. Like we did a lot of like Blink-182 covers. I played the drums, but I was no Travis Barker at all.
But the beginning wasn't any Travis Barker either.
No, well,
to be fair.
No, that's true. That's very true, and I never will be that.
I want to talk a little bit about the visuals for Scene Kids. Diamonds, various patterns, checkers, polka dot stripes, zebra stripes, plaid, and leopard prints. Dinosaurs, rainbows, skulls, neon colors, and glitter.
Butterfly.
The fashion. Basically, bright pattern clothing, Converse and Vans shoes, sneakers, tight clothing, hair bows, franchises and characters that were popular when Scene was in its peak. For example, Gloomy Bear, Hello Kitty, Domo, Invader Zim, and Skelanimals.
Oh my God,
Sailor
Invader
Moon was
Zim.
another one.
We know all that hot topic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Striped raccoon tails, plastic pearl necklaces, oversized and nerd sunglasses, shutter shades, skinny jeans, studded belts, bandana scarves, band t-shirts and bracelets, jewelry made out of candy, tutus and tutus and tiaras. Tutas. What's a tuta?
Tutas.
Such an old man. Fingerless gloves, jelly bracelets, diamond necklaces, tattoos, and piercings.
Hot.
Hair and makeup, chunky neon highlights, black eyeliner, big side bangs, smoky eyes, raccoon eyeliner, flat iron teased or spiked hair, mostly dyed black or blonde.
Also, always carrying a razor blade in your pocket just for show.
Or it was on you.
I got to shave after the show, guys.
No, it's not for cutting myself. It's I'm just so depressed.
Confusing.
I like to think about it.
That's what I was throwing down.
You know, you talked about cloud earlier, but I do distinctly remember a lot of people doing the like straightened out front, and so it would be really long. It was, I mean, it was the Karen cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was around
Essentially.
that time because I remember. I mean, shoot, I think I did that haircut at one point because it was the front was really long and straight, and then the back was a little bit shorter, but like spiky.
I want to see you with hair on your head.
My hair used to be down to the like past the middle of my back.
Damn, that's hot.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I loved it.
It's like a horse's mane. I want to put
Yeah.
a saddle on you
They
and
should
ride
make a
you into
final-
the sunset.
They should make a Final Fantasy where all the characters are just a bunch of Karens pushing a soccer mom van in the desert.
Final Fantasy 15.
In the beginning, I'm pushing a vehicle.
You're like that's like a scene kid game for sure. I felt like I was in a boy band like when I played that game.
That's on PlayStation now as well, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I think I can still do that with my hair. It goes all the way down to here if I
Yeah.
pull it down.
Oh,
Yeah, it was funny actually when my wife and I first started dating, my hair was longer than hers.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I miss being able to put my hair in my mouth.
I hate my parents. They won't buy me an Xbox.
I just want some Mountain Dew.
Some of the popular TV shows of the time: Adventure Time, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Gloomy the Naughty Grizzly. That's from 2021. That's just aesthetically. Happy Tree Friends,
Oh yeah.
My Little Pony, Naruto, and SpongeBob SquarePants.
Stickta?
Do you guys remember Salad Fingers?
Yeah, that was a primary
Yeah.
thing then too.
Salad Fingers was sweet.
It was actually your wife who clued me into Salad Fingers.
Yeah, this shit's so unnerving.
Yeah.
I had a-
Great.
I had a pet that I named after Adventure Time. I had a Persian cat. So the main characters in Adventure Time were
Jake
Jake
the
and
dog.
Finn,
Yeah.
and then they had that episode, or they had episodes where they had like alternate versions of
Yeah.
themselves that were Fiona and a calico cat named Cake.
Oh, yeah.
I had a female calico Persian that we named Cake
That's cool.
because of that show.
So some of the popular magazines at the time were the Alternative Press and Kerrang,
Oh yeah.
Brands, Care Bears, David and Goliath, Gloomy Bear, Happy Bunny, Hello Kitty, Monster High, My Little Pony, Nyan Cat.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about
You
it.
don't need to
Come
talk
on.
about it.
Let's hear it.
So there's a lovely cover of Kerrang out there that has my beautiful husband on it, shirtless.
No, that's not a cover of it.
It's small in the corner of the cover. Yes, it is. I found it. It's you with your arms out and that giant
that a-
boa, and you're wearing like a rosary, and you've got eyeliner.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a corner, like, because there was a story, like there's more pictures of you, Mike, and Jordan
Yeah.
on the inside, but they put the little thing on the corner of the cover, and it's just you, Jesus style, with a snake.
I don't think I was on the cover.
You
I
can
think
find that
you
on
were.
our Instagram.
Yeah, or if any zanzeezeepod fans want to
I'm
send that to us, we
pretty
would love
sure.
that
Yeah, we could find it. For
Then
sure.
on Instagram. Oh boy, got all hot and bothered hearing
only
about that.
fans. Stand easy.
It's a 13-foot python. That thing was fucking real cool. I remember doing that photo shoot.
Oh, you're talking about an actual python.
Yeah.
Do you happen to remember what was the main part of the cover?
I don't remember who the main
I don't think it was. I don't
cover
think we were on
story.
the
I'm
cover.
pretty sure you were
We had-
on the cover.
So it wasn't the one with Kiss then, probably.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had a good relationship with Kerrang. I mean, we spoke to them many times. We did like a Kerrang radio recording where we played some acoustic songs. And we did.
I think you
Oh.
have the magazine downstairs.
Yeah, it's
I
done.
found one with Nightwish on the cover with
Oh,
you.
there you go.
Oh.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't even remember that.
Oh
That's cool. Look at kids. I'm on the cover of Kerrang.
With
I looked-
Nightwish.
I looked like Pete Wentz though. I was thin and had hair.
I
You-
loved
wow,
Fall
you
Out Boy
totally
back in
do.
the day. Come on now.
So we kind of alluded to the female influencers. There was Audrey
Hold on.
Kitching, Foxy, Claude Beauty, Creepy Chan, Anna Beth, Anna Minx, Hillary Haywire,
Jeffree Star.
Jeffree Star, It was kind of like taking over the makeup world on
Fashion,
YouTube.
yeah.
Fashion. Kat Von D, I think I said. Miss Hollywood, Vanna Venom, Zooey Suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fashion, scene music changed through the years as well. Scene music or scenecore takes a lot of inspiration from screamo and second wave emo of the 90s. Bands like Orchid expanded on the more laid-back post-hardcore of the 70s and 80s with explosive instruments and vocals. In the early 2000s to around 2005, scene kids would listen to pop punk and emo. Acts like Fall Out Boy saw critical success in the early to mid 2000s under these genres. The success of releases from bands around the same time, like Seosin, who merged post-hardcore and metalcore, skyrocketed the popularity of post-hardcore music.
They did it perfect, by the way. Seosin was sweet. They were great.
And in 2003 to 2007, scene kids listened to hardcore, metalcore, deathcore, and post-hardcore. In 2008, electronic music became popular within the subculture, and a genre called crunkcore increased in popularity. Around this time, many emo pop and post-hardcore scene artists began incorporating electronics into their music and began popularizing trancecore.
Who are we playing with?
That Poison the Well?
I'm not sure what this is. It looks
We're all
like
digging up Still Remains shots of Teach.
Oh,
it looks
God.
like a concert.
Let me see. It's
like a
yeah,
concert
it's like
poster.
okay. Oh, it still remains Sinai Beach and Demiricus. That was a UK tour we did.
I feel like you have the current downstairs.
Go look for it. I'm not gonna get it.
I don't want anybody to see that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So progressive post-hardcore began to pick up steam near the 2010s with bands like Of Machines and Broadway incorporating trance and electronics into the emo pop and post-hardcore compositions. In the early 2010s, pop punk and emo pop had a small revival, and electronic post-hardcore became very popular with bands like Bring Me the Horizon, seeing massive success. Scene music would see a gradual decline through the 2010s as it became less popular in the mainstream, but bands like Hands Like Houses still saw moderate success while expanding on the progressive post-hardcore sound. In recent years, coming to a head in around 2019, electronic scene music made a revival in the form of hyperpop and indie-tronica. Inspired by older scene bands, artists like 100 Gex and Underscores popularized an abrasive internet core style of hyperpop that bent the cutesy and feminine aesthetic of mid-2010s hyperpop into the emo scene. You know, one of my favorite genres of music is definitely electronic style music, but I don't know if any of the bands that I liked came out of that era.
Like electronica or
yeah, like electronica, like trance, even like Underworld's one of my favorite bands. And they, like, we were talking specifically about the movie Blade. There's an Underworld song that's playing when they all go into that rave beginning of that movie.
Is that who? I didn't know that was that.
I think it's a remix, but it's Underworld because I can hear the singer singing.
Okay.
Crystal Method.
Crystal Method was a huge, like, I bought Vegas straight from Best Buy, put it in my Thunderbird, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm the coolest motherfucker on the planet
I
right
go-go
now.
dance for them.
Oh, really?
So when I was 23, about, I got involved with the electronic music scene and started go-go dancing for a lot of like electronic events, raves, and it kind of got to the point where we were doing festivals, Electric
wow.
Forest, EDC,
wow.
Bonnaroo, that kind of stuff. So up until I was 27,
Wow.
that's what I did, is travel around and go dance. And
Were any of the I don't know if you would call them musicians or DJs, but like, were any of them really cool?
yeah, there were
Yeah.
a lot that were really cool. There were a lot that were super douchey. There were a lot that were super creepy. There were a lot that were super, like some that have gotten canceled. I've go dance for Datsik, and he went through a big cancellation thing. I've done events where Bass Nectar was playing, and he was canceled for some stuff. But I've also worked with a lot of really, really great artists in that genre. Cruella, they were amazing. Zed is super awesome and super kind.
Dead Mouse. She
Dead Mouse, yeah.
Wow. That's the big mouse head guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh,
Data Life Steve Aoki. Like,
Oh, wow.
He was kind of douchey, but also kind of fun to work with.
I get it.
But yeah, there were some times.
Sometimes
Like
you
Lord.
both
Time.
lived a life.
Yeah.
Aw. Some of the slang of scene kids,
wow.
scene
Rawr.
lingo. Abbreviations derived from the internet like LOL, STFU, IDGAF, OMG, and WTF. Whoa, these are interesting. I'm trying. Brutal,
Mhm.
but the O and A are replaced with 0 and 4.
Yep.
Fetch,
Mhm.
a misspelling of bitch.
Yes,
B-E-T-T.
stupid bet.
Shut up, bat.
Shut up, late to the festival, bitch. FU, but EFFYUU. Emoticons such as it looks like the laughing on the side face, so it's a XD.
Mhm.
Hardcore, HXT.
Yeah.
Rad, and fly, both are slang terms for cool.
That was around in the
Rawr.
80s, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah, true.
Don't give this to them damn scene kids.
So much like a dad just like, no,
That was ours, damn it.
Yeah, rad dad.
yeah, exactly. Rar, sometimes said as rar, meaning I love you in dinosaur.
Mhm.
I had no idea that's what
You can
it was.
find shirts that literally say "RAR" means "I love you" in dinosaur.
Really?
With like the little T-Rex.
That's
I
funny.
remember Licensee was playing a show in Detroit, and there was a guy that had a hoodie on, and it was him and one other guy in the band, and they must have just fallen off of their senior year of high school, like little baby boys. And his hoodie said, to write love on her arms.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is that?
That foundation is actually
That's
pretty
awesome.
great. They
Yeah.
donate
I would love to get involved with them actually because they
donate a lot of money to help with suicide and depression.
Oh, wow.
And
Email
teens and stuff like that.
zanzeezeepodcast@gmail.com. zanzeezeepodcast@gmail.com. We'll shout you out.
yeah, that was huge in the scene actually. Like,
Yeah.
they were big advocates for like suicide prevention and stuff.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's a total like emo sounding name to write love on her arm.
I know. I thought it was
You know what I
some
mean?
like.
But it's probably about like track marks,
hmm
you know.
Yeah, they were at like Cornerstone Festival all the time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So,
yeah,
bunch of
I remember-
apparel.
yeah. A lot of bigger bands. I remember Under Oath was like involved with them. Like there were a lot of bigger
Well, that's
bands in the
good.
scene. that
See,
were
I
involved.
appreciate that. I'm glad I
Yeah.
brought that up because at first I was like, I don't know if this band is really lame or what.
Yeah.
What
No,
the deal is, but it's a brand.
It's a foundation or a
Foundation.
brand or something like that, and they're all about, you know, depression and suicide prevention and stuff like that. So
You listen
Nice.
to some of the lyrics of some of those songs that were big in the scene back then. Hawthorne Heights, Split My Wrist and Black My Eyes.
Yeah.
Come
God bless him. Casey was a really great guy.
That was a great audio clip that we just
He's the guy that he plays like the third guitar in Hawthorne Heights, and he did all the screaming. Super nice. I'm not into that band at all, but they are all super sweethearts.
Yeah.
And he ended up passing away, and it was super sad. But he was a really good guy. Good memories.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, is don't necessarily judge a book by its cover,
No.
which is, you know, one of those. I don't know if that came from the 70s or 60s, but I appreciate it because it's true. I mean, a lot of these people, I've met country musicians who are cool as shit, and I'm not necessarily into, say, like modern country or anything, but they're all there doing what they love, and you know, people have a story, people have a life, and I can understand, especially with you mentioned the suicide awareness. I think being that first real like generation of internet culture post kind of our thing. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I cut
Yeah,
out
I got
my
nothing
right
on
ear.
this side.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, while you're fixing that,
Go ahead,
so
Josh.
dead air. That's why I really love, like, I'm sure we all heard about Dave Grohl being like the coolest dude
Yeah.
in the music
absolutely.
industry.
Yeah.
And the story being that he actually learned that from Dimebag Darrell of Pantera, because Dime, his thing was like he would show up to a festival. He didn't care what genre you played. He didn't care who you were. He would go to everybody's dressing rooms with a bottle of whiskey, ready to say, "Hey, let's do shots.
Yeah.
Let's have fun." And that was his thing, and that's why everyone loved him. And that's why, of course, Dave took that and was like, you know what? I don't care if you played, country or pop or disco or whatever, because you're doing what you love ultimately. Unless you're racist, that's cool. Like, let's party.
Yeah.
Nice.
I toured with so many bands that I couldn't stand, but honestly, like most of them were all super sweet people,
And they just want
Good times.
acceptance. At the end of the day, we just want people to say, "Hey, man, like I see you. You're
yeah,
a
I see
human
you.
being."
We can hang out. Let's hang out.
Did you ever tour with Emery? That's still one of my favorite bands.
Never toured with Emery, but like we've played shows with them. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's like cutting in and out.
Oh, mine was doing that too for a minute. Oh, keep talking.
Going offline. Oh.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
Emery is like an emo core band.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
they're from Seattle. Emery. So before he played drums in Emery, Dave Powell, their drummer, played in a band called the Bowels of Judas, and we toured with them a bunch back in like 2003, 2004.
Mhm.
And then he ended up moving from Indianapolis out to Seattle, and he started playing drums with Emery. And I mean, I think we've played shows with them. We never really toured with them, I don't think.
Right. Good
But-
group of guys.
Good group of guys for sure. Like some of them would come to our shows in Seattle when we were out there, and I mean, we've gone to theirs when they come here, and they're cool.
All right, we're gonna wrap this bad bear up. I'm gonna have a quiz, and so I think the best way to do this is to ask our guests these questions.
Okay.
And
okay.
the quiz is:
Put the pressure on.
Are you a scene kid?
Oh,
I think we established that already.
right.
What if we did it instead of because we know she was. Let's answer it as a collective, and most voted on answer is what we'll do. So we'll decide if the podcast
Is Zanzeezy a scene kid? All right. Question number 1. Do you have color in your hair or use a flat iron?
Yeah.
A, yes. B, no. C, I use a flat iron. D, I have some color. I think we're going to go with A because
I've done all of that. So
Mhm.
I have done that. I don't do that right now. This is natural gray.
all right. So A gets a yes.
Okay.
All right. Do you like piercings? Yes, no, and depends where.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, at one point in time, it was anywhere and everywhere. Now it depends where, but so I'm gonna go with yes.
All right.
303. Oh.
Do you shop at Hot Topic, PacSun, or Forever 21? A, yes, all of them. B, none, or C, sometimes.
A.
Is this now or past?
Did you at any point?
Well,
Yes.
well then no.
Yes.
That wasn't me at all ever.
I've bought clothes from all three for sure.
I mean, where else were you gonna find band T-shirts in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Yeah.
They had some cool men's stuff at Forever 21 for a little bit, almost like Urban Outfitter type stuff. I
Yeah.
love Urban Outfitters.
But like, if I wanted a Cradle of Filth shirt, the only place I was gonna go was the creepy dungeon version
Yeah.
of Hot Topic.
Number 4, would you consider yourself a concert person?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, or depends on the concert.
Depends on the concert.
Yeah.
Do you like skinny jeans? Yes, no, or sometimes?
Yeah.
Currently wearing them.
Currently wearing them.
No.
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 Oh, so we got a.
Do you like
I gotta-
We
music?
got outrun. Do you like music?
No. Fuck that.
What is-
fuck that shit.
Music is the worst music.
What is music?
Only posers play music.
Yeah.
Do you consider your style hardcore? A, not really. B, yes.
I wear skinny jeans and band tees.
Maybe.
So
I mean,
I don't wear studded belts anymore.
I'm middle-aged, washed-up metalcore vocalist dad.
you're
Style.
not washed up.
Washed up.
Just
The question is, how often
water.
do you wear band shirts?
Every
Every
fucking
day.
day.
Every day, yeah. So,
Every day.
I mean, not today.
Metal Gear.
That's
Metal
a sweet shirt.
No.
I love it.
Yes.
Do you okay? Do you label yourself as seen?
Not
Yes.
anymore, but
No.
at one point in time,
At one point.
yeah.
So there is an answer that says a little.
Yeah. At one point, I totally was.
Guys, we're scene kids.
We gotta go. I'm going to relive it.
Not
this
even
Saturday.
through the quiz.
I think I was
We're already.
I was a hybrid like grunge goth scene kid that like sang in a metal band. Totally fucking weird.
Love
No,
it.
I
I
didn't
was
fit
the
in with
exact
any of
same
it,
way.
but I did all of like little pieces of all of it.
Well, you're of the age too, man. I mean, like you and I grew up at the same time. Like we're very like raised on like the '80s, the hair bands, the you know, the classic
flannel.
rock, the flannel, the grunge, and like we just
Yeah.
when we both graduated high school, that's like the internet was there, but not really the way it was.
We're all
5 years
kind of the
later.
same age
Mhm.
group.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I think
For
we're
me,
the
close
exact
enough.
same age.
Close enough.
38.
38,
Okay.
and she's only a couple years younger. So
I'm 35.
yeah, so
Oh,
She's
wow.
like my sister's generation, which is yeah.
yeah, we're
I mean,
kind of the
it-
bridge
yeah,
here.
MySpace was huge. That was the sneaking out and still putting a comforter over your home computer so your parents didn't hear the dial-up noise.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Haunting.
looking forward to Vans Warped Tour in the summer and swearing and making sure that you broke in your new Vans that you bought for Warped Tour before you went, or you knew you were having blisters. That was making fun of your current coworker for breaking their arm at Mayday Parade during Warped Tour.
I went in the pit and it wasn't very raw.
I broke my arm. broke my arm.
Through Mayday Parade. But
See, I'm right there with you because, like, in high school, I was not part of any group because it was like I associated with like the stoners. Then I was hanging out with the heavy metal kids, you know, and like, because I remember this magical time in 1996, 97. Hey guys, there's this really heavy band called Slipknot. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
You know, we're all passing the CD around like this is magical.
Yeah.
Um,
I've worn many different hats
Yeah.
with
Same.
yeah.
music and
You kind of associate
Style.
with everybody in a way,
Everybody.
so you kind of take a little bit from everybody.
There were days I'd go to high school. I want to dress like Kurt Cobain, and then I'd want to like dress like Chino Moreno, and I'd want to dress like Fred Durst, and I'd want to dress like fucking. I just would want to wear a flannel or some plaid, and the next day I would want to wear fishnets on my arms and put eyeliner
and
on.
on your
Yeah.
legs.
I just connected with all of it in different ways.
And then there was days where you just wanted to piss off all the rednecks that you went to high school with, and you're
Exactly.
like, I'm going to wear a cape to work to school
Yeah.
just because.
Yep.
I agree with everything everyone said. You guys are such great co-hosts, and we had the best guest today. She rocked it.
Good job, B.
B,
Good job, my wife.
do you have anything you want to promote for this episode as far as like maybe anything locally or anything going on?
no, you guys plug where I work so much that I feel bad saying it again.
Plug it again.
you know?
Flourish.
Yeah,
Come high
downtown.
five B in person. Tell her about your Scene Kid days.
Get a scene kid haircut.
There you go.
By B at her work.
There you go.
Get a free pre-roll.
By B.
Yeah, by you. You're gonna
want somebody to buy me?
no.
Oh.
You're gonna give free scene haircuts at Flourish and give away free pre-rolls.
Dude, I mastered cutting my hair with a razor blade.
I want to be a
Just
suicide
gotta get
girl.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, that was a goal. Turning 18 and becoming a suicide girl for.
Me too.
Oh, suicide girls.
I think that's still a thing, isn't it?
I wouldn't know.
I'm not going to Google it.
OnlyFans kind of
Oh, okay.
took over that.
That's a good point. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
And also, if you're contemplating suicide, call the suicide hotline at 1-800-SUICIDE, I think it is.
We don't have a better help supporter.
That's
They're
true.
not supporting us.
Better help. Contact zanzeezeepodcast@gmail.com. We'll do your ads if you pay us.
Or love it.
What an endorsement.
But yes, if you're experiencing difficult thoughts, call 988 or 911. There is a national suicide number. But anyways, yes, that's been your episode. Tej, what's going on in your world? Do you have anything you want to throw out?
Probably just listen to Zanzeezy, listen to Glassfield, and listen to Dead Me. We're gonna have some new Glassfield and Dead Me music out next month.
That's right. Watch out, folks, because it'll be in your earwebs. Also, there's 9 Halloween episodes slated for next month, and it's getting crazy. I've been playing through one of the episodes we're going to be covering, the series The Last of Us. I'm playing through the games right now on the twitch.tv/Oceanic101. Links in the description. And we're going to talk all about that spooky game. And it spooked me. I got spooked.
Did you really?
A couple of clickers ran up on me and I was like, "Whoa!"
It happens.
Yeah. Oh, that thing ripped my head open.
That's fear.
Lots of real fun episodes in October, November with the best ofs, and one big final history episode before we take a break in December and January and come back hard as the Dickens in February for season 2.
Hard as the
As Charles Dickens.
Can we come back with a history of porn?
Come back hard as the Dickens.
There is a hardness to that history.
We do the history of Pornhub or something.
I mean, we could.
Pornhub.
There's a lot of dead
History
bodies.
of porn
in that.
stars and how they've evolved.
Probably.
Like Jenna Jameson.
Oh,
History of porn.
hardcore.
Sasha Grey.
Sasha Grey.
You know.
I know Sasha Grey. Don't look at me like that.
See, that's because CJ knows too.
too.
You want to talk about it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for liking, subscribing. 5 stars gets you shout outs on the show. We have shout outs to give. And also, please, if you want to suggest an episode, you can join our Discord, links in the description. And you can also email us, zanzeezeepodcast@gmail.com, for episode suggestions, and we will add them to the dossier. That's been your episode. We love you guys. Have a great one.